Record. Hey everybody, welcome to our Wednesday night Epic Empire team call. I'm so excited to see all of these beautiful faces, and for those of you listening to the recording on your way home, whatever, could be on your way home from work or on your way to work, you know what I mean. I'm so glad that you're here, and I'm glad that you're listening in and taking that for your business. So tonight we have an incredible speaker, and I'm going to introduce her in just a minute, but let me go over some recognition and announcements. First, we'll start with announcements. The next Super Saturday weekend is January 6th, so you have absolutely no reason why not to block that time off, because I'm giving you plenty of time in advance. It's that weekend, so depending on the location where you're at, whether it's DC or it's Hawaii, I don't care. There's a Super Saturday near you. If you need to drive 3 hours, make it to a Super Saturday. It's a great way to promote coaching on your social media platforms, and also surround yourself with some like-minded people, especially if you're a newer coach. Just getting into that culture and that vibe of the community of Beachbody is an incredible experience. If you've never been to Summit and things like that, this is like a little mini version of Summit. And so I want you guys to make it a discipline to be at every Super Saturday that you can. It's my birthday weekend, and I'm still going. Well, I'm speaking, so I kind of have to go, but I'll be in Toronto, Canada, speaking there. So if you're in Toronto, let's hang out. All right, and it's gonna be freaking cold. Why can't I go to like Bahamas? Is there a Super Saturday? I need to go to Puerto Rico. I need to go to the Puerto Rico Super Saturday. How can I get that gig? Except for I don't speak Spanish. It could be a problem. Anyways, Super Saturdays, January 6th weekend. 80-day obsession, little bit obsessed, comes out November 6th. And it's not a sneak peek. Just wanted to emphasize that it is not a sneak peek. You will not be getting actual 80-day obsessed workouts. You'll be getting workouts that will prepare people for 80-day obsession, so they do not need to join your little obsessed group, because it's not going to be as hard as the actual 80-day obsession. It's just going to kind of get you introduced to using loops and sliders, and some of the moves. You guys, the program is completely different than anything you've ever done. Like, your challengers are going to love it. You are going to love it. And it has changed my body. The nutritional plan is different. It's 80-day or a 21-day fix similarity with the containers, but it's really focused on time nutrition. Guarantee you and tell you, the first 20 days, I felt like I was married to my nutritional plan. It was a little scary. I was like, I feel like my eating is my full-time job. Like, that's all I gotta focus on is my eating. But it taught me so much about how I was, eating like way too many containers at certain times of the day and pushing things off to the end of the day, not eating the right foods before my workouts and after my workouts. I didn't get it. Now I get it, and it makes sense, and it's not that hard as it was when I first started. And I've been somewhat alcohol for 80 days, not completely, but a lot less than normal, which is great. And I can say I have had no wine for all of 2017. I'm still holding strong. I committed to that in January. I 100% have seen the difference in my body, my ability to shred down so much easier without wine. So I'll just give you a Tito's shout out, because that's my jam now. It's a lot easier to stick to your nutritional plan with Tito's, or Mick Ultra. All right, so on the board we have. I know we have a lot more names to this on the board. You guys, really. Okay, updating your points. But I get it. I'm gonna just shout out the people who are updating their points. You guys are all boss babes, boss dudes. You can update your own points in our team document, but I'll give a shout out to those who did it. We have Holly Garvey. I saw you said you had 8 points. Congratulations, Holly, at 8 points. Alex DeRosa at 2 points. Hunter, I'm assuming that's Carla. Is that Hunter behind you? Hi, Hunter. Nice to meet you. 2 points. Duran, 2 points. And then we have Carla Perry at 4 coaches and 6 points. And myself, rocking it out, 20 points. They said they were going to give elite for 20 or points for 20 points for elite people. So I was like, all right, done. Check. Rolling on in. We introduced some incredible new UK coaches to our team. They probably will never be on our team calls because it is 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning for them right now. So they probably won't be, on our team calls. But we will be hosting UK team calls here in the future as they start to build their team. So that will be fun to hear how to grow the business over there. So if you do sign a coach over in the UK, make sure you plug them into our Epic UK page, which is poppin'. We also have WhatsApp, which is really big over there. I'm like getting in with the times here. That's the thing. They chat literally all day long. Some incredible rock stars that are going to be added to our team. So hopefully you guys have mingled with them a little bit. Also, don't forget, sorry, Andrea, I swear, I'm going to let you talk. Your lipstick looks way too fly to not let you talk. November to remember. It starts November 1st. You're going to pair up with another coach. You can't have 2 diamonds together, so only 1 diamond per team. If you are in a certain region, you will pick which region you want to win prizes from and compete with. So make sure you go and check your FAQs for all the details on that. Our banner photo has all of the prizes that you can get from that. They're giving out $50,000 to the top team, and $50,000 is going to go to the school of your choice, which is pretty incredible that you get to donate. I can't imagine like standing at my kid's school and handing over a $50,000 check. Like that would be pretty incredible. My partner is Kelly Slaughter. We've already teamed up together. We're going to kick all of y'all's butts, so I dare you to beat us. Just kidding. A little competitive there. I'm kidding. Don't take me seriously. I'm a zombie and tired right now. All right, so let's go into what you guys really want to hear and why you're here tonight. A little backstory on our guest speaker tonight. Andrea and I met in the DC Market Council way back in the day when she was a really cool 2-star diamond coach, and I was an emerald, I think, almost diamond at the time. Maybe I'd just become diamond. And I was trying to act cooler than I actually was on the market council. I think I was pretending I was a diamond. I actually wasn't a diamond at the time. I think even if people assumed I was, and I pretended I was. How bad it was. Anyways, I looked up to her so much, and I remember listening to her speak, and she had her little note cards and her stilettos on and all this stuff. I'm like, I've got to get it together. Like, I look like a hot mess. She looks cute. She's got presenter cards. I get up there and I'm like shaking when I want to talk. Obviously, things have changed because now rock the stage, but she led the way for me, and she set an example and a precedence, and I'm so excited to have her on the call. Okay, here's her accolades. She's an 11-star diamond. Okay, she's got me up by a diamond. 3-time elite coach, Millions Club. She's an Army wife. She is a mom of 2, and she is just a social media goddess. She also has a little bit of a potty mouth sometimes. If you follow her on social media, she talks about her potty mouth. So if potty mouth can offend you, I've already kind of gave her a little bit of a background on our team. We got some more conservative coaches on our team. So she's going to try really hard, but she's also sharing from her heart. So hopefully she doesn't offend anybody. So love on her anyways. And let's get this show on a road. You ready, Andrea?
I'm so ready. Thank
you.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to hush it up. Go ahead.
Anna is a liar. She totally means she's going to crush the contest and be anybody who's willing to like step up. But I love that about you. And I love that like you're really like challenging people to raise their personal expectations. The first thing that I want to do is give you guys a little bit more backstory on like how I got started. I've been a coach for 6 years, and I started when my husband had just gotten home from Afghanistan. Like our house was still in boxes. The Army had just moved us to the Washington, D.C. area. So I launched my business just like within a month or so of us moving. I was still getting my kids in school. I was getting back into the office because I was working my corporate job virtually for a while. But once we moved back to the DC area, I had to go back into our corporate headquarters. So I had gotten a little taste of what it was like to work from home, and I liked it. I liked being able to be a little bit more present with my children, even though I still had like normal traditional corporate work hours. So I had to I was working on the West Coast for an East Coast company. So I had to start my work hours at 6 a.m. West Coast, so that I was starting my work hours on the East Coast no later than 9 a.m. And I was the executive assistant to the president, which was a really challenging task to do virtually. So there was really nothing about our current life that was suggesting that it was really an appropriate time to start a business, nor did I have any background whatsoever. And I didn't even really truly understand like what network marketing was. I had done Melaleuca for like a hot second way back in the day. This was like when MySpace first started. So, and all they said back then was like, there was no using social media. They were just like cold call people. So go pay money to buy a list of phone numbers and cold call them. And this introvert was like, what? And so, but I did it because like we were so desperate for money. We're living in the Washington, D.C. area. We've lived there twice now. And the cost of living was astronomical to what we were getting paid, what my husband was getting paid. And we needed the extra money so badly. And so I did it, but it didn't last very long. And I dumped a ton of money in, and all they did was tell me like, just cold call, cold call, cold call. There was no training whatsoever. And it was the worst network marketing experience. I just wasted a shit ton of money and time. Dang, that was fast. Sorry, that one popped out. And anyways, so I started my business not really kind of understanding that Beachbody was a traditional network marketing company, because as you guys know, we don't really operate the same that most network marketing companies do. I knew that the products worked because I had used Insanity, which I had purchased from Amazon, and got awesome results while my husband was deployed. And that was how I got in shape, because I was working full time, going to school, taking care of 2 kids, and then also taking care of my mother, which was struggling with massive addiction. And so I had no time whatsoever. So Insanity was like this way for me to do something. I saw a girl on Facebook and I was like, wow, her body looks amazing. Like, I wonder if I could get in that good of shape before my husband gets home. And I just really, really wanted to feel confident when he got back. And so I did the program. I got into the best shape of my life. I fell in love with Shaun T. After that, it was like, I didn't feel like I was getting good workout unless I felt like puking, because that's just how Insanity rolls. I now realize you can get results without wanting to throw up, but that was like my first taste of Beachbody. I really didn't know what Shakeology was all about, but I just saw this cute little blonde girl on Facebook, and I was like, she looks super happy, and she looks like she kind of has life figured out. So maybe I should reach out to her and ask her what she's doing every single Thursday when she says that she's getting paid by this Beachbody business. I was a lead to someone, and because I signed up for the free account, and she sent me a message. The very first message that I got from her was, you should be a coach. And I didn't know anything about what a coach meant. So I made my own personal assumptions, and I'm like, I have a corporate job. I'm not a personal trainer. And I deleted the email. So unfortunately for that girl, because she didn't build a relationship with me, I ended up signing up with someone else, and I don't think she's a coach anymore. I did add her on Facebook. She put that in the thing like, hey, add me on Facebook. So I added her, and I did kind of pay attention later after I became a coach. I saw that she had gone to the first summit. I think there was like 200 people there. But it was just this really interesting experience. And now looking back, knowing what I know now as a coach who's been doing this for a while, I'm like, oh shit, like I feel really bad that I did not, send her a message. I didn't know what I was doing. And so that was a really big first lesson to me, that if someone signs up with someone else, it's not a personal thing. I didn't make that like a personal attack on her. It was just, I really connected with this other girl, and she took time to get to know me. And my first like powerful lesson in this business was, what is for you will not pass you. And so I ended up signing up with someone else, and I've had lots of people who've reached out and talked to me, and they've also signed up with other coaches, and it's just not a personal thing. And I think that what happens is that we come into this business, and when people make a decision not to work with us, whether they say a flat out no or whether they go for another coach, it brings up a whole lot of issues based off of like what we believe our self-worth is. So the first thing that I want to tell you guys before I get into some really awesome productivity tips is that you are worthy. And really, if I ended the call right now and you believed me when I said that, that would be all you guys really need to know. Because every decision that you make, every question that you have, you already know the answer to. It's already inside of you. The problem is that we come up with all kinds of excuses, like I need to go do another training, I need to read a book, I need to ask this person a question, and it keeps us and stalls us from just taking action and just learning from our own behavior and from our own experience, because we have this block up where we just think like, well, I'm just not worthy. And sometimes we BS ourselves and tell ourselves that we believe in ourselves, we believe in the products, we believe in the company. But we have these beliefs that sometimes we don't even recognize that are keeping us from actually being open and willing to receive. So until you guys believe the one thing, and that is that you are enough, you are worthy, and it is safe for you to take the next step in your business, nothing else I say tonight will matter. So if you guys walk away and take that one thing, it's just to believe that it's okay and it's safe for you to receive. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. I have a few slides, and I'm going to talk about like the tips that I'm using currently in my life to have the biggest impact in my business. We're going to talk about productivity, and I'll give you guys some cool tools to start using. But to me now, Andrea 2017, productivity back in the day used to meant like hustle. I was working 10, 12, sometimes 14 hours. That was once I quit my full-time job. I worked my full-time job for a little over 2 years until I matched my income, and then I walked away for my corporate career, but it took twice as long as I thought it would. But I used to think that in order to be successful, I just had to be working all the time. I don't believe that anymore. You can do it both ways. You can have success both ways. I just prefer to have the freedom that I'm trying to sell to other people, which means that I have to live that. Because I was trying to before sell location freedom and lifestyle freedom and financial freedom. And after so long, I felt like the 10, 12, 14-hour days, I felt like I was kind of selling a lie. And that didn't feel good to me anymore. And so I had to learn some new ways and new methods to still have a massive impact in my business, but to not be spending all my time on it, to actually do the thing that I set out to do, which was to have more time with my family, to be present, to do things that I loved, that I was passionate about. And my business is that. And I'm thankful that when I am working my business, I'm still feeling a massive amount of joy. It's still really fulfilling me, but I'm not sacrificing everything for that business anymore. So I want to share what's working for me right now so that you guys can feel like not only can you make strides and movements forward and gain some momentum in your business, but you don't have to sacrifice everything to get that either. So let me share my screen. All right. Oops. Wrong one. Okay. So productivity does not necessarily mean that you are putting a lot of time or effort into your business. It just means that the actions that you are taking, this is Andrea's personal definition, the actions that you are taking are building momentum in your business in relationship to your Beachbody business specifically. So the first lesson, and I think is so critical, is that number one, you have to own your business. In the words of Wiz Khalifa and 2 Chainz, one of my favorite rap songs when I'm working out, we have to own it. You guys have to take charge of your business. And I know it's really easy because we preach like community and team and everything's we and we're going to do this together. But ultimately, at the end of the day, it's your name on your paycheck and nobody else is going to make it grow but you. And it's really easy to kind of give up some of our personal power and put it in other people's hands. Well, my team isn't hitting Success Club, and my team isn't rank advancing, and my team isn't, selling more Shakeology, or my team doesn't have great Shakeology retention. So therefore my team volume is either declining or it's not growing or whatever. But really, ultimately, you own your business, and you have to take charge and take personal responsibility, because your name on your paycheck and nobody else's. And the other thing, when it comes to you taking personal responsibility, when you use language like, well, I remember I said this for a year and a half in my business. My first 18 months in business, I stayed stuck at Diamond. And I kept using language like, well, I'm stuck at Diamond. That was the first thing that when I said I'm stuck, it was almost like someone was holding me there. Like I had given up that personal responsibility and ownership, because I felt like someone else was putting pressure and I wasn't able to move because my team wasn't rank advancing. And so I would use other language like, why does nobody get this but me? I thought like I really truly understood this business, and like I was showing up and I was doing all the things that I was told to do, all the things that were, on my daily power hour worksheet. I, was checking all the things off the to-do list. And so really I had given up a tremendous amount of my power away, because I was just sitting there saying like, okay, well, when are you going to do your part? And I was using really crippling language, and I was really projecting this energy towards my team that they weren't enough for me, which isn't really why I started this business. And I only share that with you guys, not because I'm proud of it, I'm certainly not, but because someone else had shared that with me around the 18-month mark in my business, probably around the 17-month mark in my business. And it was Scotty Hobbs, actually. And he said, I kept saying, why does nobody get this but me? And I'm like, Scotty, I'm listening to Scotty on a team call like you guys are right now, except for it was like a normal traditional phone call. And I'm like, oh my God, I'm saying that too. Yes, Scotty, preach to me. Like I was like, he took me to church. And I was saying and thinking all the same things, and like giving the energy towards my team that they just weren't stepping up and they weren't good enough and they didn't get it. And that disempowering language was certainly creating exactly what I believed I had. And it wasn't growing. And so what I did was I began to shift my language towards my team as well. Number one, I took complete personal responsibility, not just over my business, but over my day, over my life, over my marriage, over my parenting, I took all of the things that were going on in my life, and I took responsibility for every piece of it, no matter how easy it would have been for me to say, well, the government's taxing me too much, or my husband is acting like a butthole or whatever. Like it's so easy to put the blame for our struggles and our personal frustrations on other people. And when I learned to shift myself first, and when I learned to change my energy, and when I learned to be the type of person, the type of energy, the type of relationship, the type of having the conversations. So when I learned to be that for other people learn to be that for me. That's a really good tip for marriage. I've been married for 14 years. God bless my husband. He's put up with a massive transformation in a wife. I think I've probably changed a lot over the years, but whenever I wanted to see our relationship grow and change and become better and richer and stronger and more beautiful, I had to change first. And it was the same with my business. I had to change my language towards my team before my team changed their behavior. And guess what? Within about a month of me shifting my language and me shifting me first, me taking ownership, me taking charge, I had my first coach sign up. And within about, I think it was like 4 to 6 weeks, she went diamond, and I was 1 star. And then very shortly after, I was 2 star, and I got to go to my first leadership, and I learned these amazing things that I'm going to, learn next week. And at that time, 2 star, we just had one event, and it was there. I'm not going to go through all this history with you guys. I've been in coach for a long time, and a lot of stuff has changed. We'll be here for forever if I talk about all the changes we've had. But most importantly, I took ownership, and I said, if I want anything to change, I have to change first. and the change will always start with me. Once I took that ownership back, there was nothing that could affect my business in a positive or negative way that I didn't have control over. Lesson 2. You have to know the why, and then the what will appear. We are so tempted to go out and look for strategy. And one of my biggest lessons that I've learned in 2017 was get out of my head and into my heart. That was like something that I've been working on personally for myself, to get back into my heart and to feel my way through it. And it's been a challenging year. I haven't had the amount of success that I've had in the last 3 years, but I'll tell you that at that 18-month mark, when I finally went 1-star qualifying, within the next 18 months, I went from making anywhere between like $70 to $150 a week to then moving up into a 6-figure income. So I almost went from like barely the beginning to a 6-figure income in about 12 to 18 months because I shifted me first. And I also connected that personal responsibility with my why. I've always, since day one of my business, been a really powerful visualizer. And it's something that I'm actually, like, I just love it. It's kind of when I've always been a daydreamer. Luckily, I'm a daydreamer paired with an action taker. My brother's just the daydreamer in the family. I'm the one who actually takes action aligned with that dream, but we all love them. We love people where they're at, right? But I had this deep sense of why in the beginning. That why had a lot to do with me and my family, because we were in 6 figures of debt, and that debt was suffocating my marriage. It was suffocating my relationship with my children. It wasn't a place that I wanted to be any longer. So I set intention to, number 1, be able to walk away from my full-time job, and number 2, to be able to pay off $100,000 worth of debt. Within 2.25 years, I had done both, because I knew what I was working for and why. I wanted that freedom. I wanted the leverage and the weight of that debt to be taken off. And so I felt that, what it would feel like to be free, before I had it. And then the steps started showing up. The right book would show up, the right training, the right conversation with a coach, the right partnership with someone where we'd pair up on different projects together, the right, sometimes I would go into like very temporary kind of success partner relationships with people, and we worked together for 3 or 4 months or so, and just the pieces started falling into place. But I knew why. And once I had accomplished around the 2-ish year mark, the paying off the $100,000 worth of debt and walking away from my full-time job, my why wasn't just about me anymore. My why was really about what I could do for other people. And I didn't really intend for my business to be a $1 million club business right away. I started my business just to make $200 a month. That was my only intention on day one. It grew into that because I became intoxicated with the pay it forward mentality and energy that Beachbody has. So, but you guys have to know why you're doing what you're doing, and it has to eventually become an extension beyond just yourself or your even your immediate team. My friend Amanda Francis, she had come to my retreat last year in 2016, and these really powerful questions she asked my team. She sat down with them and she says, "I want to know why you're doing what you're doing and how it's going to benefit you, how it's going to benefit your family, how it will benefit your team, your community, this country, and ultimately the world." So you, your family, your team, your community, your country, and ultimately the world. And as we continue to expand Beachbody beyond the UK and Canada and go into Europe, it ultimately is going to have a worldwide impact. But there's going to come a day, as long as you guys don't give up, as long as you guys show up and play, with your fullest potential, there's going to come a day where the money just doesn't matter anymore. And it's a really beautiful space to be in. But you're going to have to know why you still want to show up at that point. And then there could come a day where things start to feel weird in the company. We kind of went through a transition, within the last like year and a half, where there is like a little bit of a transition in the finances. And still in that moment, you're going to need a deep why, because otherwise you're going to make decisions based solely off of finances. And that's not a really happy space to be in. That's not freedom to me. So you guys need to have a why that goes beyond getting paid. When I close my eyes and I think about why I'm showing up to work this business, yes, I love to have the money because the money gives me freedom to show up in the ways that I want to express myself. But the money, but really ultimately why goes far beyond that. It goes into this space where I can impact, where I can teach. I had no idea that I loved teaching until I started Beachbody. I would have never, ever associated myself with the identity of being a teacher. And now I just am obsessed with it because I love to see the connection. I love to see that light go off in people's eyes when they have that aha moment. I'm a junkie for it. It is crack cocaine to me. I love seeing that light go off in people's eyes. And so I know that what we do when I see someone start to take better care of themselves and to believe they're worthy and to make a shift in their nutrition, I know ultimately that's going to change the behavior that's happening in their family. It's going to affect their kids. It's going to be generational impact. And that to me is really important. And I also want to see people be able to show up and make choices that are separate from money to be able to bring yourself fulfillment and joy. And a lot of people right now, they spend the majority of their lives working just to collect a paycheck. Not because they love it, not because that's their true purpose in life, but because they just are working out of necessity, not joy or pleasure. And to me, that's not okay. So I know that what I do, whether I show up and someone signs up with me or Beachbody, I'm setting an example for people, and that has a worldwide benefit extension. Lesson 3, feel it and do it. This right here, lesson number 3, is the reason that I don't work. There are some, I can't lie. There are some days where I work 12 hours, and it's because I am in the zone and nobody can pull my laptop away from me because I am just like in it, and like my creativity is flowing, and like all I really, really want to do in those moments are work. But then there's times where I don't want that, and I want to, go to the beach with my kids. We finally live in a beach state as a military family, and I'm like, I want to take advantage of that, and I want to go on road trips with my babes, and I want to make memories. My son is in high school, and that scares the crap out of me. I'm freaking out, like, oh my gosh. All of a sudden now I look at his face and I see a countdown timer, and it stresses me out because I'm like, I only have a few years left to make a massive impact in his life, to shape who he's going to be for forever, and to make memories with him before another woman comes and takes my place. And as a mama, that is scary-ish. So this is something that I had to really, really shift in my business, where it's okay for me to, normally I don't do calls in the evenings except for our Monday night team call. I rarely do calls for other teams, but I can't say no to Jitana. Love her to death. And so I had to make some like really serious decisions about my schedule, but I also wasn't willing to sacrifice the impact that I'm in the making the world. And I just didn't believe that I had to. I just believed that I had to shift and do things differently. So when I say feel it and then do it, sometimes I spend the first like 3 or 4 hours of my day after my kids go to school getting into the mood to work my business. Let me tell you what I mean by that. And this is me, and I'm able to work this is like my full-time job, but you guys can, sometimes I will allow myself 3 to 4 hours. If I only have 3 minutes, I'll take 3 minutes. And so if I have an hour to work my business, I'll take 3 minutes to get myself into the energy of how I want to show up. And then I take action in my business. If you show up in your business and you're tired, and I get it, like there's a lot of time, like the most precious resource that people value these days is not money, it is time. So I understand like people have a lot of pressure on their time these days. But also that's why I felt it's so important for me to show people that this business is not bondage. this business does give me time. This business gives me space. Business gives me white space on my calendar. So I want to show people that they can have that, but I have to preach it first, right? I have to practice what I preach first. So if it takes you 3 minutes, I'm telling you, like, do whatever it takes to get yourself into a positive, excited, joyful, passionate energy before you start your business. So if I only had 3 minutes to get myself into the energy of how I want to show up, I have a teeny little trampoline in my house. Used to be in my office, but now the whole neighborhood uses that dang trampoline. So it is in my living room 24/7. Does not match my decor, but it's there. Jumping on the trampoline and blasting music that I resonate and that I vibe with. That's like the fastest way. And deep breathing. Breath, like deep breath, really, really, really connects me and shifts my energy in a really quick, powerful way. Also, if you're tired, the blood circulation and the oxygen going to your body will wake you up. So 3 minutes is going to be, and I got my trampoline on Amazon for like dirt cheap. I didn't go buy an expensive, nice, $300,000 trampoline. I think I paid like $60 for it. And I think they even have like $30 or $40 ones. But the point, and you don't even need a trampoline. Like you could do jumping jacks or whatever, or you could work out and then go work your business or whatever it takes. Like go spend like 3 minutes making out with your man. Like if my husband was here, 100%, my husband's deployed right now. If I only had 3 minutes, I'd have a straight up makeout sesh with my husband of 14 years. And that would like totally get me into like this awesome, like, yes, that was amazing. Let me go serve the world. Like whatever it takes for you. Get yourself into the mood. And I always tease people, like if you've been married for 14 years, sometimes you have to get yourself into the mood, wink, wink, for certain situations. And like, you just have to make it happen, right? Whatever it takes to make it happen, but feel it first. Let me tell you why. Let me give you guys like a visual example. If you guys walk into a store and you are looking for something specific and there's 2 employees there, maybe you're shopping for boots or a cute outfit for Summit or whatever, and there's 2 employees there. One of them is sitting there. They're both available to help you. They're both paid to help you. One of them is sitting there and she looks really unhappy to be there. She's stressed out. Her arms are crossed and her body language and her face is telling you, I will help you, but I'm not going to like it. And I'm also, let's pretend we're buying something high end. P.S. We're in a store where like the price tags are higher than average. And so she's looking at you and she's thinking, this girl, she's going to come in here and she's going to try on all the things and I'm going to have all this stuff to put away. And then she's going to put it all back and be like, it's not really what I was looking for. But really, ultimately, what she's thinking is I don't want to pay that price tag. She's going to see the price tag and she's going to run and she's going to think it's too expensive. So her energy is already assuming that you're not available to purchase. And the other girl is sitting there with a smile on her face. She walks up and asks you how your day is. She compliments you on your shoes. She tells you your eyeliner looks amazing. She asks you where you got your lipstick, and she's super friendly and asks you, oh, by the way, do you need help with anything? And you're like, oh yeah, I'm looking for an outfit. I'm going to a special event for work. I want to look great. I want to feel great. And so she asks you questions about like, well, what makes you feel great? What are your colors? Like, what are you vibing with right now? What type of look is it? And she's really interested in you. And she just wants to help you find the right thing because she wants you to feel good. She feels good. She's vibing with where she's at. She's vibing with having this conversation with you. She doesn't really care. She's not sitting there worried about what type of money you have in the bank because she figures that you walked in there and she can help you. But if she can't, no big deal. Maybe she'll refer you to a store down the hallway or road or whatever. Who are you going to do business with? Both of them there are getting paid to help you, right? But one of them has the energy where you can tell like she's in it for you and she really, really wants to support you and see you happy and see you get what you need. You're going to, of course, do the business with a girl that has a smile on her face and is happy to serve you. But how often do you sit down at your laptop with your arms crossed and think, just going to be 5 more people that are going to tell me no and tell me Shakeology is too expensive? Because we do sell a high-end premium product for our industry. We're not maybe selling red bottom Louboutin shoes, but we do sell a premium product. We have one of the most expensive shakes on the market. We know it's worth it, but if our energy is that they're not going to see that value, they won't. We'll put them off before we even start, right? So if you do not shift your energy first, you won't make the sale, and then you'll be even more frustrated. And so when I have these conversations, when I get myself into the mood or in the energy, I get to have less conversations with more translations into sales. I don't have to work as hard. I can stop there. My internet did not cut off. I could stop there. I don't have to work as hard. So that's why I can take 3 or 4 hours in the beginning of my day, and I spend half of my work hours getting into the most insane energy. And I get to show people during that time that I have calendar space to do things that I love. So maybe I'm taking the dog for a walk. Maybe I'm going on a drive. Maybe I'm getting coffee. Maybe I'm going to Whole Foods. For some reason, Whole Foods really raises my vibe. So I love to go to Whole Foods. Sometimes I'm sending my customers, if I really want to like have an awesome impact with people, I will go message people from Whole Foods. I'll push my little cart and my happy booty down the aisle, and like, you know, if you shop at Whole Foods, you can have a glass of wine while you're walking around. Like, I just can't even imagine sometimes a better place to work. So I'll be like, oh girl, I'm shopping, and you know, sorry I didn't respond to you right away. I'm just out, you know, shopping at Whole Foods. And people are like, oh, it's the middle of the day. What are you doing at Whole Foods? And I'll tell them like, I just like hanging out here. And it shows people freedom, and I'm happy, and I'm joyful, and I'm relaxed. Whatever it takes to get you there, do it. All right, let's move on. Those first 3 ones are the ones that I had to spend the most time on. So we're going to wrap the rest of this up pretty quickly. Lesson 4, clarity. Know what you want to achieve. Ultimately have kind of a loose vision as far as what you want to achieve overall in your business in the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months, whatever. But really what I mean is on a daily basis. If you want to have, if you want to be a high performer, if you want to get the most bang for your buck in your activity and the time that you spend in your business, it's not about working more. It's about working with intention. So you can't do that if you don't know exactly what it is that you're trying to achieve. So work from a list. Sit down to your business when you're in the mood, you've got yourself there, and you're like, yeah, I feel great. I can't wait to talk to people. I couldn't wait to talk to you guys tonight because I was in such a good mood. I went for a walk. It was like 70 degrees here in Florida, which is like fall for us. I'm like, this is the most amazing thing ever. The sun was going down. My daughter and I had dinner together. My son ditched us for the huge. And we sat there and we tried to get a bonfire lit, and we're not successful, but we laughed a lot about it. And I was just like in a great mood, and I could not wait to talk to you guys. And I hope you guys feel like I'm here because I want to be here, not because I have to be here. Know what you want to achieve. Show up, get yourself into the energy, take charge, take ownership, but have a vision, at least knowing what you want to accomplish that day. When you're in that energy and you're excited, you are more likely to go down that to-do list and slay it. Lesson 5, say no. Every time you say yes to one thing, you say no to something else. And some of you guys are people pleasers and yes people. The problem is that you don't look at it like that. You look at it as just thinking that you can say yes to everything. Unfortunately, when you say yes to one thing, you always say no to something else. Sometimes that means you're saying no to your family. If you say yes to a donut every single morning at the donut bar at work, you are saying no to abs. If you say yes to volunteering more, doing more PTA work just so you can look like the perfect good Pinterest volunteering PTA mom, your kids don't care if you're on the PTA. They just don't care. I know you think you do, and I know sometimes we think like we have to show up and do all those things to be a great mom, but you know what? My kids brag about me. My kids think I'm pretty cool when it comes to like the mom stuff, right? I am not a PTA member. I'm not that PTA mom. And I'm just saying, like, whatever your PTA is, fill in the blank with something else. Every time you say yes to that, you say no to what you started your business for. You say no to that why that we talked about in lesson 2. Every time you say yes to one thing, you say no to something else. So be very, very careful. I remember hearing the most successful people in the world, they never have more than 3 major commitments at a time. And so anything that's not in line with those 3 things, they easily and quickly say no to. Or the first thing that you can do is say no and then go back 24 hours and change your mind if you want to. Okay, lesson 6, the 3 R's: reduce, reuse, recycle. This will save you time. So I learned this from Brendan Burchard, and what he does is when it comes to social media, he focuses on putting amazing content out into the world. So when I put content out, even if I make an ask, if I have a call to action in my content, I want the content to still be able to stand on its own 2 legs and still have massive value despite the call to action. So every post, every content, everything that I put up on social media, it needs to have value in and of itself, even if people don't do business with me. But then what I do is if I write a Facebook post, I copy and paste it and put it up onto my blog. If you're not a blogger, please do not go start a blog. It is not the secret to success. The secret to success is to do whatever you will actually take action on and that you enjoy, as long as your energy is in a good place. So, but I'll write a Facebook post and then I may reduce it a little bit so it's a little bit shorter, and I might put it on Instagram. And then I might also take the same general idea and I might make a quick Insta story out of it. And then maybe 6 months from now, it's going to pop up in my Facebook timeline, or I guess a year from now, if we're, looking at like the Facebook reminders saying like, this is what you're doing 12 months from now. I look at that almost every day, and I look at the content, and either one, if it's terrible content, I screenshot it and I put it into my team page to show my team that we all start somewhere and we can suck in the very beginning, and it's totally safe to suck as long as you're willing to learn from your mistakes. Or if it was really good and had awesome engagement, I reshare it, I recycle it, I reuse it, okay? So you guys don't always have to be creating new content all the time. Create yourself a little swipe file where you can go back even 3 months later. You don't have to wait a year. I just like that Facebook saves my stuff for me, and it's super easy. I don't have to like do the work of copy and pasting and saving it. So I recycle my stuff about every 12 months, but you guys can take stuff and recycle it every 3, 6, 9 months. Most of the time people forgot that they ever read it unless they're like crazy obsessed with you. And even still, if they are, they're happy to read it again. Lesson number 7, 50-minute rule. If you have more than 1 hour to work your business, you need to take a break for 5 minutes every 50 minutes. This will increase your focus and productivity by up to 30%. So if you guys want to get 30% more impact, take a break for 5 minutes for every 50 minutes that you're working. Walk around, do some deep breathing. If you've got that trampoline, jump on the trampoline for a little while. Go hug your kids. Give them 5 minutes of complete presence. Look them in the eye. Tell them you love them. Go make out with your man or your woman. I know I keep saying man, but I know we've got some dudes on here. But every 50 minutes, take 5 minutes to just pull yourself away, to refresh yourself, and then come back, and you guys can have up to 30% increased productivity. Lesson number 8, set yourself up some triggers specifically to break bad patterns with disruptions. So triggers sometimes for me means like on my phone, I'll have an alarm that will go off and it will remind me of my goals. And I'll say my goals in present tense. Like, I'm so grateful, like for a long time, my goal was to get past 9-star. I'm so grateful that I lead a 10-star diamond team. You guys could say, I'm so grateful that I lead a diamond team, or that I'm so grateful that I make $1,000 a week. I might also change my passwords to $1,000 a week if that's my goal, because you're constantly reprogramming your subconscious every time this comes into your environment, whether you're typing it into your keyboard or whether it's a pop-up on your phone or it's a note on your bathroom mirror that you're going to see every morning and every night when you brush your teeth, whatever the case. But if you're sitting down working and you are the type of person where you waste a lot of time like scrolling on social and you're not really doing intentional work to grow your business, set an alarm that's going to go off every 10 minutes until you break that pattern. The other thing that you can do is you can keep moving your social media apps on your phone. I do this all the time because I have a bad habit. It's like my thumb or my finger has a mind of its own. And so I'll pick up my phone, and without even thinking about it, all of a sudden my finger's pushing on the Facebook app and opening it. And I'm like, whoa, I did not even consciously think about that. but I just launched the Facebook app. So what I'll do is I'll keep moving the Facebook app to different screens or areas or little folders on my phone. That way it's breaking the pattern. The pattern is that, and the habit is that my thumb or finger knows straight where to go, where the Facebook or the Instagram app is. So if I want to break that pattern to make sure that I'm being intentional with my to-do list instead of letting my habits start to rule my behavior, which they will if you let them, I find little ways to break the pattern with triggers. So move the apps or set timers to disrupt you, whatever it takes. And then the last one that I have for you guys is just some tools that have helped me save time and help me be more intentional, have a higher impact. But here's the thing, I get asked this all the time, like, what social media platforms are you using? What's your favorite apps for this? What are you doing? And again, it's going back to people wanting to know this strategy. Get out of your head and back into your heart, because the best, most successful tools are the ones that you'll actually use. It doesn't matter how I track my business. It doesn't matter which social media platform I use if you won't use them. So it's the ones that you're excited to show up and actually take action on. It doesn't matter what you know, what matters what you do, okay? So I use Buffer to schedule posts, and this is more for me for my team pages to make sure my team page constantly feels like they're getting love from me. I'm not constantly doing Facebook Lives in there. I like to do maybe 1 or 2 a week, but I do buffer a lot of content in there of resources that maybe someone never saw or maybe people forgot about. Planoly is something I'm so obsessed with when it comes to Instagram. It's specifically for Instagram. I know there's other tools out there like this. This is just the one that works for me that I use. And so it helps you kind of pre-plan out your content to make sure your photos look nice together. But also it helps you, it allows you to schedule. And I just did an update on my phone. I haven't looked and figured out how to do this yet, but the update did say that it's allowing you to plan your stories. I'm not sure that I'll use that, but it's interesting to me and I'm going to check it out. Meditation is something that I started doing a few years ago. And trust me, you guys, I'm one of those people where I'm like, I can't meditate. I don't know how. I can't stop thinking. Like all the excuses in the book of like why I didn't think that I was like the right fit for meditation. In fact, I think the people who believe that are probably the people that need it the most. But this could be one of the things that you guys do right before you start your business. And it could be 60 seconds, it could be 60 minutes, totally up to you and whatever you like. I'm usually like a 10 to 20 minute meditator. You're not going to stop thinking the whole time. So take the pressure off that like you can't have a single thought. You just will, but you just learn how to either focus on a mantra. I follow the Oprah Deepak meditations. I'm obsessed with those. But when I allow myself a little bit of mental white space where I'm not focused on other people's needs, I'm not planning something, I'm not responding to notifications, and I just allow myself time and space to just be, my focus is insane and I'm so easily distracted. So meditation has really helped me manage anxiety as well as focus. Please be willing and ready to hire someone. As your business grows, in order for you to continue to have freedom of time, you need to learn how to leverage your time, which means outsourcing. I started outsourcing stuff when I was making $200 a week, and I just hired someone for 5 hours a week at $10. So I was taking about $50 every single week of my $200, and I was putting that into my business, and then I used that extra 60 minutes that I had a day, 5 days a week, and I used it to do business growth activities. That was when I was still working full time. But now I do it so that I have, when I am taking time off to spend with my family or to do things that are fun for me, I know that my business is still running because my assistant's helping support me. Or maybe I'm just hiring people for like a project by project base. Maybe it's going to take me 10 hours to do this video editing and it would take someone else 1 hour and I can pay them $20. 10 hours of my time is worth way more than $20. So don't be willing to leverage your time and outsource. Find a way to track your projects, whether it's digital, whether it's handwritten, but just work from a list. I use Asana to track my big projects if I'm like working on a new coach training or something, or I use a planner for my day-to-day stuff. I will tell you guys, going back to the tip where I was telling you get into the energy, when I'm in the energy and I'm excited about something, like if I'm going to make a new coach training or if I'm going to refresh my challenge group content, I do it when I'm in the energy of it. When I'm excited and passionate, I like to take massive action. Usually when I have the idea is when I'm most excited about it. And so if I have an idea to create like new content for my challenge group, I try if I can to take action right away, because that's when you're going to get the most done the fastest, and it generally feels very, very inspired, and it goes very, very quickly, and it's, for me at least, usually my best work. And then direct message for Instagram is an app that you guys can download onto your laptop, so you guys can replay your Instagram messages on your laptop. All right, that's all I had for you guys, and I think I have 1 spare minute for questions.
So. Awesome, Sass. Woo! I took a bunch of notes, and I'm over here like trying to check out Planoly.
Oh my God, you don't Planoly?
I don't. That sounds amazing. Instagram's my jam, so it sounds amazing. Some of my biggest takeaways, I'm sure you guys have some as well. Crippling language, I'm terrible at that. I do it all the time. I'm like, I'm not a superstar diamond team. I'm just going to settle for hitting a lead every year, whatever the bare minimum, check, done, move on. But I know in my heart of hearts, I want to be able to achieve it. And so I set my alarm for 6 a.m. saying you are a superstar diamond team. So when I wake up in the morning, that's what I'm going to see. And I love that. Getting into energy, that's my jam. I wake up in the morning and country music is on, especially after my kids are gone. My kids are focused on them. They get on the bus, and I think my neighbors are like, "Oh, there's Tana, she's awake," because I like crank up the Luke Bryan and dance around my kitchen like a nut. So I'm a firm believer of that, and I wanted to second that because I can get into my workspace so much better and so much more energetic. And I'm talking to my customers and my coaches and my current challengers and my prospects with so much more energy and authentic Jatana energy, because dancing in my kitchen to Luke Bryan is Jatana. And so I come at it, my work, so much more just in a good place. So I love that. Working with intention, I suck at that. I need to be better at that. Taking a break for 5 minutes. Oh my gosh. Somebody hold me accountable to that. Nicola, like, Jatana, have you stopped for 5 minutes? Because I don't stop. I can go all day because I love it. So I say that for myself because I enjoy it. It brings me joy to go all day.
I would like 5 minutes.
Nicole would like 5 minutes.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I will hold you accountable.
But I took a ton of notes. Does anybody have any questions? We'll give you 3 questions before we jump off. Anyone?
It's 10. We're tired.
Is it 10 o'clock already? You guys, I should be way in bed by now. There was so much information. I don't have any questions. That's you stooped Nicole, and she's usually the question queen. Awesome sauce. Well, Andrea, let's go get some sleep. That was incredible. Thank you so much. I need to be more focused, and I'm going to wake up tomorrow as a Superstar Diamond Team alarm. So we'll see if we can make that happen. Thank you, Andrea. You're a sweetheart. We love you. Go give her some shout outs and some love on social media. You guys have an amazing night, and make sure you go check your back office because it's Wednesday night, so you have to make sure you're active. If you're Emerald, make sure your 2 coaches are active. If you're Diamond, check your downline and make sure everything's good there. Take a picture of the team call, post it on social media, because people join my team all the time because they see these little faces and they're like, that's so cool, you're on Zoom calls. What is it? Right? So go ahead, if you need an opportunity without picking your nose and looking weird, take a picture.
Pick your nose. No, do
it. And post on Instagram stories, your Facebook page, and don't just say on my team call, yay. Share a story of what it's about. Maybe something you learned tonight from Andrea's call. Share that so your audience can see the value that you get from being a part of this team. All right. Love you guys. Have a great night. Bye-bye.